It's a big loss for him out right now. As you said, back sometime soon after the All-Star break. And also, speaking of returning, Isaiah Rider back from the locker room. He probably just forgot his chewing gum.
And you know, that's the key for a ball player.
There's Del Harris. Del Harris, one of only 9 active NBA coaches to have won 500 or more games coaching the Los Angeles Lakers. And Mike Dunleavy, who replaced Pat Riley here in L.A. before he went to Milwaukee, and now at Portland, one of the bright coaches in the NBA. Historically, good matchups between these two teams, but the Lakers have won the last 4 regular season meetings between these two teams. Nick Van Exel at the point. He was out for a couple of games with a strained hip. Also has that brace on his left knee. Here's Nick now. Apparently not bothering his jumper.
Doesn't seem to be bothering him. And in his absence, got to give a lot of credit to Derek Fisher, who stepped in huge against the Chicago team. Has been playing extremely well in replacing Nick Van Exel.
Here's Kenny Anderson, Georgia Tech, into the Lithuanian, Arvydas Sabonis. A lot of bounces, but it still counts too. He had 24 points, 11 boards. A lot of people question, because of his aging and his knee problems, whether Arvydas is going to play well in back-to-backs. But head coach Mike Dunleavy said he's been playing well in back-to-backs, and Shaquille misses the jam.
Well, that was one of the keys coming into tonight's ball game for Sabonis, is that he had to really step up and play the quality minutes. In another area, stay out of foul trouble. Traditionally, he's gotten into a lot of foul trouble trying to defend Shaq. That time was a good defensive play on his part.
Yeah, one of the few players in the league that matches Shaq physically.
Yeah, and there's not too many of them, and he doesn't back down.
Ryder misses, Fox rebounds. Nick tried the 3, missed it. Rasheed Wallace, Arvydas Sabonis, and Vincent Askew up front for Portland, with Anderson and Isaiah Rider in the backcourt.
Del Harris said coming into tonight's game that one of the keys for this game tonight is they really wanted to create an up-tempo, really try to push the ball as much as possible, and really extend their defense. They do not want to play a half-court game against this big Portland team.
Corey Blount had 13 boards against Chicago, and he just got a big one there on the miss from Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones gets it from Corey and lays it in on the reverse.
Well, Corey Blount has really done some good quality minutes in the absence of Robert Horry.
There are people who think that maybe Corey Blount would be more of a starting power forward, but one of them is not Del Harris. A steal, Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones, certainly one of the best defenders on this Laker team, is so deceptively quick. You have to make sure that you don't show him too much of the ball. Otherwise, the result is pick clean and a layup.
Among the league leaders in steals, about 2.5 a game. Kenny Anderson, 10 on the shot clock. Rasheed Wallace got lost in the traffic down there and opened for the shot. We have ourselves a 6-4 Lakers lead with 9:31 to go. First period and the second game of our doubleheader tonight. Utah got Chicago 101-93. Nick Van Exel. And that's a triple for Nick.
Dunleavy really wanted to try to double team quickly on Shaq, but the rotation was so slow. You got to rotate and find the shooter. That time, Portland did not do a good job of recognizing that Nick Van Exel was open.
That was Nick's, I don't know if they stopped the game for this, his 100th made 3 this year.
He's got a few to go before they stop the game.
Nick shooting 41% from out there. He's 2 out of 3, has 5 points here. And the Lakers are up 9-4, 8:55 to go first period. Rick Fox, the free agent from Boston. Sabonis with the rebound off of this. And by the way, in case you're wondering, Portland played last night, won by 1 over New Jersey. Portland's record in back-to-backs is 6-2 as Anderson comes up with the loose ball. And Sabonis has been playing well in the back-to-backs.
Sabonis has been playing well and playing a lot of quality minutes.
Has the good perimeter shot, not this time. Rebound, Corey Blount. That's 2 rebounds already for Corey. Also see Mario Bennett a lot at the power forward spot with Horry out. Not too many minutes for Eldon Campbell at the power forward spot. A disappointment to Dell.
Exactly, the biggest disappointment and surprise. I mean, here was a guy when Shaq was out who would step up and just play some huge minutes for him. And once Shaq came back, he really hasn't been moving around. And Shaq shaking his head, looking over here, saying the guy can't hold me.
Can't guard me.
He can't guard me.
Can only contain me. How about that? I bet the discussion between Arvydas Sabonis from Lithuania and Shaquille O'Neal would be fascinating.
It would.
traveling. No, 3-second violation. Could have been a traveling 2, maybe, except that that's Kenny's move, so it's not. 3-second violation, and that's the third Portland turnover as the Trailblazers trail 11-4. Quiet crowd here at
Very
the Fort.
quiet. Well, you know, it's an LA crowd. They want to be entertained. You know, they're a sophisticated crowd.
Show us something. Give us
Exactly.
Kobe is what they really want to see.
Exactly.
Kobe Bryant, an all-star starter who's the sixth man on this Laker roster. Nick Van Exel pulling up and shooting again. Sabonis gets his third rebound. Inside to Wallace, quickly over Shaquille, but you can tell that he had Shaquille on his mind as he missed everything. Blunt. Hard foul. Blunt goes down. Let's see if he's all right. He hit that floor hard. It's going to be on Sabonis.
Well, Corey Blunt not shy about taking the ball to the rim that time. He's going to extend himself, and Arvydas is just trying to get out of his way. Not quick enough. Call for the foul. One more look at it. Oh, I thought Corey should have finished that.
Yeah. Corey Blunt, as I said, had 13 boards against Chicago. His first start last game. This is 2 in a row for him. Corey was first-round draft choice by the Bulls back in 1993 at Cincinnati. Played for a while there with Nick Van Exel. And is playing with a nagging ankle injury. They say you probably have to have something done.
Well, they
with
say
it
he has
offseason.
bad ankles, and he can't even step on the court without possibly spraining it. But certainly when he's healthy, he's really provided this team with some good minutes, rebounding. Not much on scoring, doesn't have to worry about that, but just being a presence in the middle.
Yeah, Portland's not been much on scoring early in this game.
No.
That's their third basket already, and now it's 12-6 Lakers. 6:46 to go
really
first
quiet,
period.
Bob, has been Isaiah Ryder. They really need him to pick it up and start looking for a shot.
He was late to the game in Portland last night, and Mike Dunleavy did not start him. Mike also said, in addition to being late and thus not getting the start, Isaiah Ryder was ill last night, so we don't know if he's battling a cold or something. That was a very nice move by the athletic Vincent Askew. The loose ball there, and Askew just kind of flowed into the picture.
Right place at the right time.
Foul on Rick Fox. And we have a timeout on the floor. 6:27 to go in the first. Lakers 12, Blazers 6.
One of Mike Dunleavy, Coach Dunleavy's concern was how to double-team Shaq. Now, they're very effective at coming down there. You see the rotation from the high post. Kenny Anderson has to make a decision. He shouldn't go out on Corey Blunt. He forgot Nick Van Exel was over there. The result, a wide-open, uncontested three-point shot, Bob.
Yeah, it's always the rotation and then the next rotation after the double.
Exactly, but you have to recognize as a guard, that's Kenny Anderson's decision. He has to make sure he knows where the shooters are. Corey Blunt's not going to hurt them out there on the perimeter. It's Nick Van Exel you have to be worried about.
Kenny Anderson, of course, this time of year, everybody's subject to trade rumors. But there have been those who thought Kenny Anderson might be traded to Damon Stoudemire, to Toronto for Damon Stoudemire. But Kenny Anderson said, no way, no how, no time, don't want to go to Toronto.
Well, you know what's so unfortunate that Kenny Anderson in November predicted this would be his best season. Last season led the team in scoring. I think he's the 5th leading scorer on this team now.
Yeah.
Obviously, has been severely affected by all the trade rumors and certainly doesn't really deserve that. But it is the nature of this business.
Particularly this time of year. You talk about his scoring, Kenny Anderson at 12.5 points as Vincent Askew goes to the free throw line. Vincent's only a 65% shooter, 50% on that trip. Good defender, ball handler, plays at that number 3 spot along with Rasheed Wallace up at the forward position as long as Brian Grant is out of there. Probably see some Gary Trent at that spot a little later.
Nice
Rick
move.
Fox.
Oh, my goodness. Beginning of the season, Rick Fox was a little tentative, Bob. Came in to wanted just to fit in with this Laker team. Wasn't really being initiative and very, but now look at this. Nice spin move. Gets Askew on his hip, turns around, lays it off the glass. Nice move by Fox.
Another one of the North Carolina alums. Vincent Askew picked up the personal.
I don't think that I've ever seen a North Carolina player that had bad footwork. I mean, every guy that's come out of that program, fundamentally sound and tremendous footwork.
Maybe coaching?
Could be coaching. It could be coaching. There's something down there in the water.
Gary Trent now in for Askew. We were talking about it a moment ago. That's Trent number 33, just losing the ball. We have foul on Rick Fox. That's his second. We may see Kobe Bryant in the game earlier than you usually do. Kobe Bryant can come in one of two ways. It makes it tough for the teams. He can come in for Eddie Jones, or he can come in for Rick Fox. He's up right now.
Yeah, Coach Dunleavy was saying, you know what? You do prepare for someone like a Kobe Bryant, but it's very difficult because you never know, like you said, Bob, when is he going to come in, what position, and how it's going to affect the flow and the movement of the team.
Gary Trent misses the free throw. Gives me an opportunity to remind you about All-Star Weekend. All-Star Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, a preview of the All-Star Weekend. Then, of course, the coverage of All-Stars Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern. And our next NBA game on Turner Sports will be Seattle-Houston on Tuesday at 8 Eastern Time.
And Olajuwon is finally back. Rockets got to be happy about that.
Oh, yeah. Stepped right in, too. Looked like he was game ready.
He was game ready, but he almost coughed up a lung.
Wow. Shaquille trying to work on Sabonis' travel.
Good defense.
And he'll turn it over. It's 14-8 Los Angeles, 5:48 to go in the first period.
That was good defense by Sabonis. Would not give up that baseline and force Shaq into that travel.
With 5:47 to go in the period, the Blazers have 8 points. They have been unable to get anything going until, hello, Isaiah, don't call me J.R. Ryder.
Mr. Ryder with a nice reverse on the baseline.
Shaquille, there's the double team. Kobe Bryant thought about the three.
Oh,
nice give up inside, but the miss by Corey Blunt.
Got to make those. Nice extra pass by Kobe Bryant.
Kenny Anderson. Isaiah Ryder.
That's just a tough shot. Falling away from the basket.
Just like that, the Blazers are back within 2. That was a rim rattler, Eddie Jones.
You got to find Eddie Jones at all time, Bob, in transition.
3 out of 4 from the floor, 6 points early in this game for Eddie Jones. Anderson trying to use the Wallace pick. Inside. Bad pass coming out of there by Gary Trent. And that's LA's second turnover. Portland has 4. Mario Bennett comes in at power forward, replacing Corey Blunt. One more statement about where Eldon Campbell has slipped in this Laker lineup in the eyes of Del Harris.
Well, I think if you're Del Harris, the one thing that all you want from Eldon Campbell is for him to be assertive on the offensive end when Shaq is in there. All you have to do, if you have a Shaq in the game and I'm a power forward, every time he has a ball, I'm finding the gaps to cut. That's my job.
Eddie Jones. That's his spot, but he's missed a couple from over there. Derek Fisher just checked into the ball game also for the Lakers. Look at the Laker defense. Stifling.
Oh, that's just great rotation and recovery. Getting a hand on the ball like that.
Sabonis tried to dribble way away from his spot, thus the turnover. Great Laker defense.
Sure was. Lakers playing with a lot of energy.
Kobe Bryant, first of the day. Kobe averaging more than any other bench player in the NBA at 17-7 a game, 3.5 rebounds, 2.3 assists. He has been averaging a shot every minute, 58 seconds he's on the floor, which is
you know what? It's not like he's
it's right at Reggie Miller's numbers.
Actually, I think Reggie may have a beat on that, but you know what? The kid doesn't just fire up shots. I mean, they're good quality looks the majority of the time.
The drive by Kenny Anderson, he beat Derek Fisher off the dribble and then drew the foul as he got down inside the paint, and it'll be on Mario Bennett. Mario Bennett's a player you might not know too much about. A second year, he played in the CBA last year. He was the #1 draft choice in '95 of Phoenix. Grew up in this area, went to Inglewood High School.
Played at ASU, did he not?
Yes.
There we go.
6'9", 235-pounder. And is getting some minutes. He has been averaging only about 4 or 5 minutes a game, and he had played in only 14 games. Speaking of Eldon Campbell, he comes in where Dell said he would get his minutes as the backup to Shaquille
As the
O'Neal.
backup center, but if I'm Eldon Campbell and I know that my minutes are going to be a little shorter playing at the center position, it would have to dawn on me that if I asserted myself at the power forward position, my minutes would go up, my points, my productivity, and I'd finally get out the doghouse.
Yeah, when Shaquille was injured for 25 games or so and he started, talking about Eldon Campbell, he averaged nearly 19 points and 8 rebounds a game.
Oh, it was sensational.
And it's less than half of that since Shaquille returned. Derek Fisher had a career-high 41 minutes a couple of nights ago after Nick Van Exel set out with that sore hip. Kobe Bryant, how about the double clutch, and Vincent Askew gets the foul.
Double clutch hang, and then wait till your defender descends, and then put off the shot.
That comes from really good coaching, doesn't
You have really good coaching and having those 19-year-old legs.
it? Second personal foul on Vincent Askew. Kobe Bryant, youngest ever All-Star. He's almost exactly a year younger than the previous youngest ever All-Star, who's
Who
sitting
might
down
that
at the
be?
other end of the
Who
court,
might that be?
Mr. Magic
The
Johnson.
Magic Man.
Magic was 20.5. There's Magic Johnson. John Black, the PR guy for the Lakers, walking around wearing the Magic Johnson tie.
And I saw you
practically begged for one.
lobbing that really, really hard.
Diane Cannon sitting down there also. It's Hollywood and the Lakers. Thank you, Vince. A lot of good games tonight, as you may have heard, or we hope saw. Chicago lost on the road again, this time to Utah, the team they met last year, defeated in the NBA championship. Chicago lost 101-93 tonight. Los Angeles leads here 19-14, 3:04 to go in the period, and young Kobe Bryant steps to the free throw line.
Chicago was up as much as 20 points
Before halftime.
before halftime.
Trouble on the road for the now appearing Invincible Bulls. Gary Trent, hard move inside. That's what Trent is there for. He's the lunch pail blue collar worker.
Roll up your sleeves. It doesn't have to look pretty. Just get the job done.
Gary Trent's out of Ohio, 6'8", 250, number 1 draft choice, 95.
Well, Trent's certainly not going to get any style points for this shot. It looked pretty, but the aftermath, going up for the second rebound and is just pummeled by 2 Lakers, goes to the free throw line.
Gary's averaging about 11 points, 5.5 rebounds a game, plays about 24 minutes, a less than good free throw shooter at about 67%.
Well, as Scott said in the openings, that last 11 games, he's averaging 15 points and almost 9 boards. Has certainly been playing well.
Mario Bennett goes to the bench and Corey Blunt comes back in. Mario now has 2 personal fouls, so he goes back to the bench for Corey Blunt.
That's what he's in there for. 6 fouls and rebound.
Gary Trent, who he's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. See if he steps his game up in the second half.
Yeah, you know what? He's certainly doing that. I mean, if you look, like I said, if you look at it over the last 11 games, but what will be interesting with that bankroll on that team,
Oh, yeah.
can they afford everybody?
We'll show you a little later in this game what a bankroll this team has. And Rasheed Wallace just signed a new 6-year extension for around $80 million.
Give or take a penny.
And how about this? No All-Stars. A lot of bankroll.
Oh, yeah.
How many All-Stars?
And then you have Stacey Augmon, who's making 2.8, who's seeing no time whatsoever.
And that personal foul was on Isaiah Ryder. There it is.
My goodness. And like I said, Stacey Augmon making 2.8. Got to make sure you get a quick glimpse on this. Not even in the rotation for the Portland Trailblazers. Gary Trent is about to get paid.
They need a major capologist.
Yes. Yes, they do.
2:33 to go, first period.
Well, that's just a tough shot.
Isaiah Ryder, he can make them from anywhere and any way.
A lot of people don't give him a lot of credit on his post-up game. Did an excellent job against a tough defender, Eddie Jones.
He has 6 now, 3 out of 4. Eddie Jones, speaking of Eddie. That's a triple for EJ. I just can't call him EJ because of our EJ.
I can understand that. It's not the same, but this kid is just, him and Nick Van Exel do not need that much room, maybe just a little hint of daylight to get that three-point shot on.
And Del Harris has done such a great job of being able to continue to get the value of Eddie Jones and Kobe Bryant, who really most people thought would have to take playing minutes away from Eddie Jones.
My hats off to Del Harris and the coaching job he's on. I mean, that is not easy when you have the public saying that Kobe Bryant, this 19-year-old, should be starting, and then you have a two-time All-Star in Eddie Jones who just continues to play sensational. Do you take his minutes away? Does Del Harris do that? No. He continues to keep him on the floor, and he leads the team in average minutes with 36.
I think Del's a hypnotist. I think what he did early in the season is he hypnotized Kobe. You will love the bench. Love the bench.
You keep emphasizing you will love the bench. You're coming off. You are a spark plug. And I'll tell you, kid, it's an advantage. You're going to be the sixth man. You can win the sixth man of the year. Plus the fact teams can't scout you. You come in, that's an obvious advantage for you. Got to make these mental notes for this season.
That'll work this year. And you're practicing what you're going to tell your players in Phoenix. I know.
Work with me, people.
Coach Cheryl Miller, Phoenix Mercury. Derek Fisher with the penetration and kick. 10 on the shot clock. Going to get a loose ball foul against Los Angeles as Gary Trent was pulled out by Corey Blunt, his first personal.
Good call by that Fisher.
While they're walking down here, I've got to ask you this. I've been wanting to, we're going to show it again, then I've got a question for you about your playing career.
We talked about the hard-working Gary Trent uses his body to shield him. Might have just simply been off balance. Yeah, I think it was just off balance.
They looked at the replay here. You hear the boos. How would you like to be making some big bucks as a player now in the new women's basketball?
Oh, goodness. You know, I would have loved to have played in the WNBA, but every time I just get up and sit down with these knees, that's a task in itself.
Yeah, well, obviously you're doing a nice job coaching, but I'm sorry we don't get a chance to see you.
You know, the legend lives on. I mean, the more people talk about me, they have me they have me doing 360s, tomahawking, and everything. And who am I to deny the public of my greatness?
Well, your main PR guy being Reggie Miller.
Yeah, that's true.
And he is. You're each other's biggest supporters.
That's true.
I love
Very
that.
true.
Stacey Augmon, whose minutes have gone down to nearly none on this roster, is in the game now. Augmon, who started in Atlanta, went to Detroit briefly and came to Portland. Fisher, Eddie Jones looking for Eldon Campbell. Kobe Bryant, that's a three, and Kobe, just like that, has 7 points. Bang, bang.
There's a reason why the kid's coming off the bench and averaging 17 points.
He's been in 5 minutes, has 7.
What'd you say about minutes of shooting?
He shot every minute, 58.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's numbers.
You might be breaking that record.
Oh, that was so close. Fisher was looking for Bryant, wanted to get the spectacular play. Good transition defense by Portland, actually. And then Portland returns, and Augmon scores.
Oh, tough shot.
That's a 4-point turnaround now, 27-24. Lakers lead it by 3. Lakers, you'd call this their small lineup, and they are fast when they have this group on the floor.
Just an unselfish team. That's just great ball movement. That's just excellent ball movement by the Lakers. Very unselfish. Eldon Campbell making a nice kick-out pass to the perimeter to Kobe Bryant, who finds slashing Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones averages 18.5 a game. He has 12 already in this period as it's coming to an end.
That does not spell well for Portland.
Out of bounds off Stacey Augmon with 5.8 seconds of the period.
You know, one of the tags for the Lakers this has been a team that's been inconsistent. They played great against the great teams, but it's the teams that they should beat that they
Cheryl, did you see that running left-handed jump hook on the baseline at the buzzer? Kobe Bryant, give the kid another donut.
Oh, look at this again, right off the glass, falling away from the basket, watches it all the way through. Nothing but a day's work for Kobe Bryant.
Over Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace only 1 for 3. Scott Hastings in that first quarter.
quarter. But I tell you what, Dale Harris worried about him getting off in the second quarter. Look for LA to double team him. They're going to stick with J.R. Ryder. They don't feel anybody from Portland can fill it up on the outside. Now, Mike Dunleavy in Portland, he wants a lot of cross streets, going to do a lot of inside. He wants to pound it inside because of the lack of shooting. Bob?
Yeah, thank you. Only 3 shots for Arvydas Sabonis, too, Cheryl.
Yeah,
so 3 for Rasheed and 3 for Arvydas.
Well, they certainly need more touches, but I'd be very, very careful about feeling that there's no perimeter threat with Isaiah Ryder on the floor.
Here's a young man in the ball game right now for the Portland Trailblazers you talked about in the open with the ball, 21, rookie Alvin Williams.
6'5", 185, a little thin. Mike Dunleavy would like to put a little more weight on him, but certainly can play the 1 or 2.
Ogden, they called him the plastic man in Atlanta because of his ability to move and turn and twist. Gets the ball to Sabonis, who gets the lay-in. 31-26 LA. Eldon Campbell.
Push off. This ball foul on Blount.
By the way, our officials are Hugh Holland, Jim Clark, and Mike Callahan. And that's 2 on Blunt, by the way. Mario Bennett on the bench also with 2. That's the power forward spot for the Lakers tonight. Robert Horry missed the last 2 games with abdominal strain. Going to be out, probably get back in the lineup after the All-Star break. Sabonis for 3. He can shoot it, but that certainly wasn't a good effort.
No, not at all.
Gary Trent nowhere to go with the ball. Alvin Williams gets it inside to Ogden, working on Kobe Bryant.
Well, that's good defense by Kobe Bryant that time. And Stacey Ogden, who had pretty decent position on the block.
Rick Fox is fouled as he drives. Alvin Williams almost got the steal on that pass from Kobe Bryant to Rick Fox. Isaiah Ryder picked up the personal, his second one.
And one of the knocks on Kobe Bryant has been his defense, but he's showing a good job here on Stacey Augmon. Just keeps him in front of him, doesn't go for the fake, and there, nice defense on the youngster.
Campbell sits down. Shaquille O'Neal gets back in the game with the Lakers leading at 31-26, 10:49 to go in the first half from the Great Western Forum, along with Scott Hastings and Cheryl Miller. Bob Neal with you. And Jermaine O'Neal. We've got enough Neals and O'Neals in here to, I don't know, start a law firm or
But
something.
Bob, you decided to drop your own.
I did. It used to be Neal. I think with the way it's going, with the money these guys are making, the O's going to get right back in there. 10:28 to go in the half. Kobe Bryant, 4 out of 4, 11 points. Blunt knocked it away. 10 on the shot clock. See how strong Sabonis is, and he draws the foul.
Now, this young man is just a student of the game, and he is learning day by day. But look at the nice dribble. Utilizes the screen by Shaq, squares up his shoulders quickly, and knocks down the shot.
It's interesting, too, when you talk to Del Harris about leadership on the Lakers team. It is Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes,
it has to be. It's going to be, and Shaquille is becoming more and more that. But then he starts naming some other players who can be leaders right at the top of the list. 19-year-old Kobe.
Well, yeah, Kobe understands the game. I mean, and he has a passion and a desire to win. That's first and foremost. The money is great. LA is great, that whole scene. But the bottom line for Kobe Bryant, he wants to win a championship.
Sabonis gets the free throws, has 7 now. 33-27 LA.
Whoa! Fox trying to show he got a little swerve there. I didn't know Fox had it in him.
Yeah, he's trying to shake off that Boston kind of straight fundamental
tough,
Eastern
Coast. Yes, I can understand.
Trying to come a surfer guy. He's already in the movies. Stacey Augmon penetrating and missing. Augmon very active off the bench here tonight. Portland will need him because the Lakers can go small and athletic, and you need an Augmon to play well.
Rick Fox right there. You see the defense there just shakes the youngster and goes right by him. O'Neal thinking there might be a screen. No screen there. Is Fox going to the hole?
And then just like that, O'Neal also picked up the personal just then. Look at what Rick has done his last 2 games. Averaged 27.5. He had 17 points in the first quarter against Minnesota.
Knocked down some key threes against Chicago as well. It's really stroking the ball with a lot of confidence.
And Rick Brunson is in for Portland. They're going to the bench easy. Too deep.
Exactly. You can't do anything about it but let him shoot it or foul him.
37-27. Biggest lead of the game by 10 for LA. Gary Trent trying to get something happening down inside, but he's been ineffective. Here's Rick Brunson, who just checked in. Gary Trent, new shot clock. Portland looking as though they don't have any leadership on the floor.
No leadership, and they're very much out of sync. You have Kenny Anderson on the bench, and not to take anything away from the rookie, Kenny Anderson's a leader on this team, certainly not in this game. But if you notice the last couple of possessions by Portland, most of their shots have been on the perimeter. Lakers did an excellent job of taking away the inside game.
And the loose ball foul goes to Arvydas Sabonis. Rasheed Wallace gets back into the ball game, try to find some offense. Rasheed averages 14.5 points a game and had 23 and 10 rebounds last night.
Yeah, they had a tough ball game against New Jersey. Really had to extend everyone's minutes to get a W out of that. Might explain why they're a little sluggish in this game.
Rick Fox with a ball fake and the drive against Wallace. Rebound, Sabonis. Rick Brunson. Into Stacey Augmon. The drive. Good defense as Corey Blunt held his ground.
Good no call.
Derek Fisher.
Boy, Portland 1 for 7 in the second quarter.
Rick Fox misses the three. Brunson with the rebound. Augmon knifing. There's where you get the plastic man, but he doesn't
1
finish.
for 8 now.
And Augmon has trouble finishing.
Yes. One of the tags on Stacey has been that.
Through his career. Tremendous athlete from UNLV. Inside to Shaquille. Tried to dunk after the foul.
Woo! I tell you, that's a whole lot of man with the spin move on the baseline. I tell you, you either have to be crazy or as big as Shaq to try to defend him down there in the post. Sabonis just has no options but to get out of his way. My goodness.
Yeah, Augmon was trying to double down. He gets called for the foul. Flailing foul.
Exactly. Augmon stuck his chicken wing down there trying to stop something.
Going back into the big man. Giving it up. Rick Fox tried to go back to Shaq.
You got to shoot that. 5 feet away from the basket, you got to shoot that shot.
Brunson comes away with it. There's the shooting. Portland 33, Lakers 52. Portland just cannot throw in the ocean. Portland shot 46% last night. And on the year shoots 45%. But it's not evident tonight. Here we go. Look out, Rick. Shaquille got the inside position on Sabonis. Then before he could put it up, draws the foul again. And that's on Rasheed Wallace. And the Blazers are over the limit.
Boy, Shaq is just going to come down there, get the inside track on Sabonis, move him out the way. Sabonis was trying to flop, and Wallace came over across the shoulders, got the ball, but some shoulder and some neck in the top of his head. Got called for the foul.
Shaq shooting free throws at 49%. That's not news anymore. You know, Cheryl, Shaquille won a Cable Ace Award, which is, one of the highest recognitions in our industry, for hosting a show on Nickelodeon. It was something sports theater or
Sports
something.
theater, yes. Matter of fact,
Shaq, stay out of our business, don't you think? Doesn't he have a job?
He has many jobs. Certainly a very talented young man.
Work on your free throws. Stay out of the broadcast.
It's a nice stroke. I mean, last season it was just horrific looking. This season, at least, it looks presentable.
Got the foul before the lay-in as Isaiah Ryder went to work, and Nick Van Exel got him. And that's his first personal. There's Nick. Nick's minutes have to be limited because he's got the chronic knee problem. And because of the knee, he also now has a becoming chronic hip flexor problem.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's so typical when you have a strain of a body part that you start overcompensating on another body part, and by then you've got two body parts that are now dysfunctioning. So, they got to try to spare him some minutes, and certainly Derek Fisher's done a good job.
Bad pass by Wallace, picked off by Van Exel. Fox down deep, spotting up. Eddie Jones for them.
Those two work so well together. Nick always knows where Eddie Jones is at on the floor.
15 points for Eddie Jones. Isaiah Ryder tries to answer. O'Neal high for that rebound.
Boy, the Lakers defense on the boards is one shot for Portland, and then out and Nick Van Exel coast to coast.
Get out of here. Lakers 42, Blazers 27. Timeout Portland. LA on an 11-1 scoring run. That got them excited here at the Forum. Off the break, Eddie Jones from 23-9. Los Angeles Lakers enjoying their biggest lead of the game with 6:30 to go in the half. Scott Hastings, what do you have for us?
You know, Bob, there's always rumors about trades. They talk about Stoudemire maybe coming to Portland and Kenny Anderson going somewhere else. But one of the big rumors, this guy right here, the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, the Denver Nuggets, the worst team in the NBA, has supposedly been courting and had discussions with him. All of his requests, money, cars, power, everything has been agreed upon. They're just now waiting for Mitch to talk with Jerry Buss, the owner, and make a decision on whether he wants to go to Denver.
Wow, Kenny Anderson with a whirling dervish move. But Scott, while you're still there, you're a Denver guy. Is that going to happen?
Hey, can I say something? Yes. I'm an NBA fan, and I've been waiting for basketball to come back to Denver for a long time.
Ow! Shaquille fouled on the shot.
Has it been painful, Scott? Has it been painful?
Yeah, Scott, while you're with us, A, has it been painful? And B, are they going to break the record for most losses? Or fewest wins?
Fewest wins.
Lock.
You media types are really critics, you know. Sabonis picked up the personal, his second. Coming up now, our next three sporting events here on Turner Sports. All-Star Friday night at 10 Eastern Time from New York City. All-Star Saturday begins at 7 Eastern Time. And then the Sonics at Rockets on TNT Tuesday at 8 Eastern Time. Of course, All-Star Saturday night will feature that young man who will not only be in the All-Star game on Sunday, but he'll be participating in the two-ball competition. My picks are Drexler and Cynthia Cooper from Houston.
Yeah, that's a good shot. That's a good job. But Clyde Drexler, I know Cynthia Cooper will be carrying Clyde Drexler.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Rick Fox, 4-3. Over the back, Mario Bennett, loose ball. That's his third personal.
Now, you don't mind those type of fouls as long as the player is being aggressive and trying to get to the boards. Those are good fouls. Doesn't upset the coach very much.
And what's this discussion here? This is interesting. Jim Clark and Hugh Hollins were talking to each other 94 feet apart. One at one end of the court and one at the other. Now we're underway. They want to make sure the clock is all right. It was. Isaiah Ryder tries to drive, too much D inside. Rick Fox off the glass.
Bob, if you just watch the defense by the Lakers, especially the last 4 possessions, they are making it so tough for Portland to get into any type of rhythm. Every shot is contested. Every shot is contested. They're putting a body, anybody coming in the paint, Shaq is there.
And they put that body onto the floor. Kenny Anderson's all right. He'll go to the line, and the foul is on Shaquille O'Neal, his first personal. Kenny Anderson out of Georgia Tech.
Well, Portland trying to get them any type of action going or offense going, and right there has to go in big against Shaq. Almost pulled that shot off.
Kenny, so he can take those hits, gained 12 pounds in the offseason just to muscle himself up so he can survive.
Anybody else, 12 pounds is enough. When you go in there against Shaq, you better have an extra 20, 25.
12, yeah, what's it going to do for you? Mario Bennett sits down now. Getting kind of a shuttle service going between Bennett and Blunt for the Lakers. Missed the free throw. Shaquille gets the board. That's his 5th. 45-32 LA, 5:05 to go in the first period. Portland looking sluggish coming off the back-to-back last night. Inside steal. Sabonis went for the steal and it was all over.
Yeah, Shaq moves so well without the ball for a big man, really knows how to utilize the baseline, block the block. And he's probably one of the best centers as far as finishing around the basket.
Shaq has 7. Inside to Sabonis.
Look how active. Look at the Lakers. Every time the ball goes down low, there's either 2 or 3 people converging on the ball at all times. Good rotation, finding the shooters.
Sabonis at 7-3 goes back and gets it and puts it in. He's having a whale of a year.
Yeah, he really is. And might be another player who has an argument for being snubbed by the All-Star, not making it.
11 points, 5 boards already for Arvydas Sabonis. Jones backing in on Askew, up and under.
Tough shot.
You see, Sabonis can hold his own one-on-one rebounding with Shaq.
Yes, he can.
Some of the time. Through a whole night, though, he wears him down like everybody.
Especially coming off a back-to-back. That's a lot of energy to expend.
Isaiah has 8 points now, Isaiah Ryder. Shaquille goes into his spin move. But first, a Laker timeout.
Quick! Can we get a timeout?
Shaq walked over me at the layup drills and he double pumped his fist and said, "How's the family?" Yo. Hello. Welcome back.
Yo.
That's because I was talking about Shaq. Speaking of Shaq.
Oh, Shaq's certainly been active on the boards, but you see a back screen by Eddie Jones frees him up there. A pass was almost picked off, but Shaq with the long arms goes up, grabs it, and takes it home.
Let's take a look at how the two centers are doing here tonight. 11 and 5, 6 now for Sabonis.
Well, Sabonis is quietly getting it done. It's the rest of his team that really hasn't produced anything. They are 7 of 24, shooting 29%.
Yeah, and Arvydas is 5 out of 8. Yo, that's it just comes into my mouth, Cheryl. I'm sorry, whenever I'm here with
it's
Shaq.
From working with Reggie Theus, picking up all those bad habits.
He's got me hip-hop going. Van Exel driving and kicking. Reversal. Eddie Jones missing the 3. Outstanding ball movement. That's something Del Harris says he wants to be one of the goals of the Lakers to improve and getting better in the second half. Better ball movement.
Well, they're doing a better job, especially the second half of the first half of the season. They just need to start finishing on some of the shots.
Look at that shot by Sabonis, and he missed it. Rasheed Wallace, who's been really quiet with the ball. Bad pass, good control by Isaiah Ryder. 17 on the shot clock, 3:08 to go in the half. Dispute over who was going to have the ball. Jim Clark asked Mike Callahan, and Callahan says, "Give it to the goal." 9 turnovers. Lakers taking great care of the ball. Only 3. Lakers average 14-9 a game. All right, that's 101 threes.
And that's what, as a defender, when you're guarding someone like a Nick Van Exel, which makes it another turnover, which is number 10 for Portland. What makes it so difficult, if you're defending Nick Van Exel, you have to anticipate trying to get over the screen and roll, and if you do, he's going to step back and knock down the 3.
Cheryl, this is a tough time to play a game. This is the last NBA activity before the All-Star break, and a lot of times players start getting distracted one thing or another. The Trailblazers should know, none of them going to the All-Star game. Anderson is fouled on the drive. He's not quite as forgiving this time that he gets leveled as he was the last time.
Kenny that time trying to find some daylight, accelerates past Rick Fox, and you see Eddie Jones coming in there just trying to get the ball. That time got a little leg, a little arm. Kenny goes down hard.
Yeah, floor burn. Anderson, a 77% free throw shooter. You see his numbers, 12-6, only 39% from the floor. Coming up, just 2 minutes, 27 seconds of game time away, the Nike halftime report. Craig Sager will bring us up to date on the latest in the Latrell Sprewell hearing from New York, plus highlights and scores from around the league. I think the commissioner was supposed to testify today.
Well, you know what? We'll find out from Craig Sager. He's done an excellent job covering that story.
The Bulldog is on it.
Yes.
Shaquille. Back to Kobe Bryant. Lakers 50-37. Been unable to really shake Portland loose, and as badly as Portland's playing, to be only down 13 isn't all that bad at this point.
Not bad. They could be staring at double at 20-25.
When Mike Dunleavy started this game, he had this pleasant complexion and composure. His hair was all combed down. His suit was all... Now look at him in 18 minutes.
All it takes It's either one quarter or a half
As
to
you
make
know.
a coach go to pieces.
But you always look good, Cheryl. I will
you
say
know,
that.
that was the key.
Speaking of looking good, Scott Hastings.
Bob, you're talking about this game and tough to play, and Mike Patello always said there was 4 times in a season you could sneak games, steal games. Right at the beginning of the season when guys aren't quite in shape, going into All-Star break because they're already off, coming out of the All-Star break, and at the end of the season. So coaches know this is a tough game.
Arvydas Sabonis gets the jam. Thanks, Scott. 2:02 to go in this half. Lakers lead it by 13.
Scott, and I think Dale Harris is really kind of banged that into the players' head that they do not want to lose any games that they should win, especially at home.
O'Neal just moved Sabonis out of the way. Shaq has 9. Laker foul on Eddie Jones. His second personal. Here's Shaq. Look at the strength here against the 7'3", 290-pound Arvydas Sabonis.
Boy, and Arvydas is trying to just stay in there defensively, but Shaq just moves him out the way. You can't give up that much room and ground, and you just got to spot Sabonis. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Arvydas Sabonis, who never talks, of course, he still has some language difficulties, but at first he couldn't talk to them at all, being from Lithuania. But Arvydas Sabonis never argues with the referees. And yet the other night, he got into such an argument that they called him for 2 technicals, ejected him as he was leaving. He took off both wristbands. He took off his shoes when he got to the sideline. His mouthpiece came out. Maybe not the shoes, maybe the mouthpiece.
It might have been the mouthpiece and the shoe.
But it was getting pretty X-rated by the time he got to the bench.
Well, you know what? I mean, here's a guy, big guy, that hasn't gotten a lot of credit and doesn't get a lot of calls that he justifiably should receive. And every now and then, you do have to act up in order to get some respect.
Nick Van Exel, 12 points tonight. Usually Anderson and Van Exel both put up about 25 when they play each other. Rasheed Wallace answers with the jump shot. Minute 6 to go in the half. 56-42, Lakers by 14. Van Exel looking for Eddie Jones off a curl.
Good call. Good call by official.
Alvin Williams was right on him defensively.
Yeah.
Ran through all those picks.
Hey, Bob, the minute you dip that shoulder, that's an automatic for the officials to make.
And that's 3 on Eddie Jones.
Yeah, Alvin Williams does an excellent job of just getting position there. Even though he was moving, the minute that Eddie Jones dipped his shoulder, it was an offensive foul.
Yeah, and Rick, I knew it was going to come a time. John will love that. John Barry into the ball game, and Eddie Jones is on the sideline laying down. I think he's okay though. I don't believe he's hurt. I think he just laid down out of frustration. So John Barry in. Sabonis. There's that famous hook shot. Not going this time. Barry comes down with a rebound. New haircut for John. He's not got much up there. Shaquille, who has none up there. Missing. Sabonis with a rebound after Corey Blunt couldn't follow. 28 seconds to go in the period. Rick Brunson also in. Intercepted by Kobe Bryant.
That's just a bad pass.
Here comes the double team, giving it up now to Nick Van Exel with 17 seconds to go in the half. Lakers up by 14 with the ball. Shot clock, game clock right on each other. Van Exel missing. Kept alive by Wallace, and that foul happened before the half ended, I believe.
The presence of mind of Kobe Bryant to just put that shot up.
Hugh Hollins got the call and then spun around immediately and looked at Mike Dunleavy and said, watch it.
Well, you see Nick Van Exel with the fall away, hits the side of the rim, and Kobe Bryant is just going to follow it up, gather himself, and go up. It was foul. It was a clear foul with time remaining on the clock.
And they reset it always to 0.3 of a second. Kobe's 5 out of 5 from the line. And it was a call that had to be made because without the foul, he did have an opportunity to score. 6 out of 6 from the line.
That's just a pretty shot.
That's the buzzer ending the first half. The Blazers are going to have to go get some oxygen and a pep talk. They trail 58-42 after this commercial timeout. We'll be joining Vince and Reggie in Atlanta for the Nike halftime report.
Well, it is certainly an all-star cast for the Los Angeles Lakers, and many of them making their presence felt. Eddie Jones in the first half. And this part of a 16-point halftime advantage now for the Lakers over the visiting Portland Trail Blazers. And we welcome you to the Nike Halftime Report. I'm Vince Cellini along with Reggie Theus. And while Chicago was traveling to Utah on this Wednesday, it was no Bull on the home front. Chicago Bulls general manager Jerry Krause, in effect, put the ball in Michael Jordan's court. Knowing Coach Phil Jackson won't return and realizing Jordan has said repeatedly Jackson is the only coach he'll play for, Krause told the Chicago Tribune, quote, "If Michael chooses to leave because there is another coach here, then it is his choice, not ours." Adding, "We would like to have Michael back, but Michael is going to have to play for someone else. It isn't going to be Phil." Our Brian Burwell got this reaction from Michael prior to the Bulls-Jazz game.
There's absolutely no room at all for you coming back under any other circumstances?
None at all, and it's not a knock for them. I mean, I think they choose their direction and I choose my direction with an understanding that, this still is a business and they have to do what they have to do to make things work. And, I have to make things work for myself in terms of what makes me feel comfortable. And, I can't say that makes me feel comfortable playing for another coach at this stage in my career.
Well, that was before the game. Now we have the game, and ski at your own risk at the Delta Center, if you know what I mean. Scottie Pippen early with a rip, pushing it up the floor, and then Ron Harper. Harper finishes, gets the basket and one, part of a 19-2 Bulls run. Then Michael Jordan off the Scott Burrell miss. Watch Jordan go to work here, then a little reverse. So 23 points in the first half, 40 in the game for Michael. 35-13 Bulls after one. Jerry Sloan's team down big. Karl Malone throwing that up and in. Part of a 17-2 Jazz run at the half, 56-45 Bulls. John Stockton now picks up a loose ball from Jordan. Spots Karl Malone, and Malone finishes here. Part of an 11-0 Jazz run, 61-56 Bulls. Now Scottie Pippen. This didn't help Chicago's cause. Pippen pulling the hamstring and missed the final 18 minutes of the game. Jazz up 71-69 after three. And then John Stockton comes up with a steal. 17 points and 18 assists for John Stockton in the game, and not a happy night for the Bulls. And Phil Jackson, 101-93. They sweep the Chicago Bulls to the Utah Jazz in the regular season series. First Western Conference team in 3 years to turn that trick. Bulls conclude a 6-game road trip at 4-2. And after the game, Michael Jordan stood his ground about retirement.
I won't play. I retire totally. It's that simple. It's totally simple. I won't play nowhere else. I won't follow Phil nowhere. I will totally retire. So that clears every question.
Come back here and watch the Jazz.
And what management is saying, Phil is out, then this is my last year.
It don't make no sense at all, but the motives of management, what can you do? It's a business. And I think it's a sickly idea of why he want to come out and say this all of a sudden now. We don't need that right now. I mean, he's a smart man, but that's not a smart move right there.
Well, Dennis Rodman laying it on the line. Timing is a factor in this whole thing.
Vince, it's amazing that that this would even become an issue right now. This is a team that still could win its 6th championship. I think that Jerry Krause made a huge mistake putting another thing on the Bulls' mind. But when it's all said and done, Phil's not coming back. I don't want to see Michael Jordan retire because he doesn't want to play for another coach. I mean, let it be because he's tired of playing the game, his body's breaking down, or he just doesn't want to continue. Not because your coach is not going to be here.
A lot has been said now by Krause and Jordan, and they may have taken their stand.
And Reinsdorf and Michael will sit down at the end of the season and iron this whole thing out.
Well, I should hope so.
Yeah.
But on a night of solid basketball, we have another solid game for you. This was right up there. The conference leaders, the Pacers and the Sonics. This taking place in Key, and Gary Payton spin move, then laying over Mark Jackson. Sonics are up by 3 early. Then Vin Baker, but a big first half, scoring, and then a good pass to Jim McIlvaine for the slam. Sonics are up by 3. Here, Reggie Miller coming off the screen, good catch, and then he puts up the three-pointer right away. 11 at the half. Sonics up by 5 at halftime. But watch Gary Payton with the basketball. He can do some things, working on Travis West right down. He gives him baseline, and Payton takes it. Let's give you an update from this game now. In the fourth quarter, you see the time left, and the Seattle now with a 5-point lead over visiting Indiana. The Pacers have won 7 in a row overall. Sonics, 7 straight wins at home. Knicks and the Timberwolves, and it's the T-Wolves winning at Tarjay 95-88. Stephon Marbury, 29 and 10 assists against the team he grew up watching. Gugliotta did not play in this game. Bone chips in the right ankle. But, Reggie, we go back to the Sonics and Pacers, a game in progress. Gauge these teams for me, and really, what's the limit, if any, for both clubs?
Vince, these two teams right now are playing as well as anybody in the league. You're looking at the number 1 and number 2 three-point shooting teams in the league, and really, both of them, you could be seeing these teams in the finals. These guys are playing as good as anybody.
Very, very good job. Hey, Gary Payton, you saw that, Gary Payton.
You know, I like the glove.
Sure you do.
Left
Coming
hand,
up,
right hand.
more from this Wednesday night in the NBA. It's on our Nike Halftime Report. The NBA's latest mini-series, shot on location in New York. Latrell Sprewell will bring you up to date. And more finals tonight. Miami beating Philadelphia. Alonzo Mourning 19 points, 15 rebounds to lead the Heat. The Cavs losing on the road at Washington. Tracy Murray 24 points for the Wiz, 10 in the fourth quarter. Boston gets it done at home against Dallas. What else is new? D. Brown 32 points, season high for the C's. And the Kings at the Nuggets 101-99. Mitch Richmond 32. Nuggets fall to 4-42 in the season. Well, Wednesday also marked day 7 of the Latrell Sprewell arbitration hearing, which included a second face-to-face meeting between Sprewell and his ex-coach PJ Carlesimo. Our Craig Sager has more on Carlesimo's first opportunity to testify.
Carlesimo established that there was a second attack, testifying that Sprewell, after being kicked out of practice, did return, did swing at the coach, and did use the phrase, "I'll kill you." Sprewell, during testimony last week, denied the second attack, claiming he was held back by teammates and coaches before he could land a punch. However, it was pointed out today that under California law, it does not matter whether contact was made. An assault is defined as an attempt. With Sprewell in the room, Carlesimo outlined details of their strained relationship. During the timeout of a game, Sprewell called the coach a joke. He also missed a curfew before a game against the Utah Jazz, and on numerous occasions showed a lackadaisical effort during practice. This is the first time in NBA history that a player's contract has been terminated for insubordination. And although Carlesimo admitted having problems communicating with his all-star guard, he said nobody wanted this to happen. Tomorrow, Horst Baumer will take the stand along with a long-awaited appearance from Commissioner David Stern. Certainly one of the most outrageous acts in all of sports. Sprewell's suspension is now in the 65th day, making it the longest non-drug-related suspension in NBA history. Vince?
All right, thank you, Craig. One more note on this story. Craig Sager has learned that when NBA Security Director Horace Ballmer called Latrell Sprewell to investigate the incident, Sprewell did not hang up the phone on Ballmer and was cooperative. Now, this contradicts earlier reports we've heard, which stated that Sprewell had hung up the phone on Ballmer. So if he did indeed cooperate here, Reggie, and, Ballmer picked up enough of the information he needed, the question is, was that due process in the eyes of the NBA?
Well, I mean, the eyes of the NBA is really they're their own law, and their way of looking at it has a lot to do with how the process is defined. John Furek, the arbitrator, is going to have to really get down and listen and try to figure out what he feels ultimately will make the only decision here.
Oh, that's for certain. All right, at the break from the Great Western Forum, it's the Lakers up handily in this game by 16. More coming up in a moment.
Welcome back to the Great Western Forum. Lakers leading it by 16. Portland having troubles on both ends of the floor. Let's go to Scott Hastings with Mike Dunleavy.
Mike, team really struggled shooting that first half. What kind of adjustments are you going to make at halftime?
Well, first of all, from a defensive standpoint, we've got to do a better job of being aggressive. We were too soft defensive end to the low post. We were too soft also going against their pressure. We want to attack it and try and get ourselves easy baskets, when they try and extend their defense.
Mike, thanks a lot. Bob, it's back to you.
All right, thank you, Scott Hastings. And here are the statistics at the half. You see the Lakers shooting 50%, Blazers only 39%.
And Sabonis was 6 for 11 with 13 points. The rest of the team, 8 for 25, only shot 32%. But if you look at what the Lakers have been able to do, the three guards, Jones, Van Exel, Bryant, combined for 42 points. That's as much as the whole Portland team scoring.
Shaquille O'Neal, who had himself a good first half. That's not news, of course. 9 points, 5 rebounds. But Arvydas Sabonis came up with 13 and 7, and at least at this half, in the man-to-man battle, Sabonis winning the war.
Yeah, Sabonis doing an excellent job. He's been bullied on the defensive end quite a few times, but Shaq on the offensive end has really held his own. Where Portland has really hurt themselves has been the lack of guard play from Ryder and from Anderson and from Williams.
Lakers open up with full court pressure. And Kenny Anderson, who was quiet in the first half. Kenny only 1 of 4 for 7 points. Also only had 7 assists. Here's only Sabonis misses. Wallace follows.
Now that is Rasheed Wallace in the first half. 21 minutes, 2 for 4, only 6 points to 4 rebounds. But they need Rasheed Wallace to be active and to give him that type of energy for the second half.
Into Shaquille O'Neal. Over Arvydas Sabonis.
You've got to really force Shaq off the blocks. When you give him that much room and that close to the basket, that's 2 points.
I saw Portland about 5 years ago. This is, of course, a different team. Come back from a 22-point deficit here and beat the Lakers in this building. But it was another Portland team.
Another Portland team.
And most importantly,
another Laker team.
Exactly. They're beating the steal attempt inside is Gary Trent, Rasheed Wallace, who gets the basket.
You know, Mike was talking about trying to be aggressive in the second half, and the last 2 possessions, really trying to get some close shots and getting there, trying to get a jump start on the defensive end.
Anderson penetrating and dishing. The ball will belong to Portland with 16 on the shot clock. $14-point Laker lead. That's what the lead was at halftime. See, the Lakers are
51%.
Yeah.
Boy, Kenny Anderson having a tough night on the floor.
Kenny is 1 out of 5. Now, he's only taken 5 shots in this game.
Well, you know what? You don't even have to shoot well. As long as he's being aggressive, getting the initiating the offense and getting other players around him is just as good. And you see the big fella rambling in the paint.
I said this, and Shaquille has this strange way of talking back, of course, as we take a look at this getting inside. I said to him before the game, looks like you're thinner.
And what did he say? Yeah, he does. You know what? He's leaner.
He's leaner is the word. Yeah, he looks like he's in maybe as good a shape as I've ever seen.
Oh, certainly. And the wonderful thing, you know, a lot of people can sit up there and take knocks on Shaq about his free throw shooting. And there's a lot of players around the league that can't shoot a free throw.
Amazing number.
But the fact that he's worked on his footwork, he's worked on his turnaround game, his defense, his passing.
Made a kind of a defensive wave there. This is 3 on 1. Eddie Jones.
Hey, Nick had 2 places to go, to the big fella or to the little one. And the little one finished in a huge way.
Lakers by 18. Isaiah Rider answers to cut it back to 16. Sabonis, by the way, just a moment ago on that foul, picked up his 3rd personal in committing the foul on Shaquille. Rick Fox off the baseline screen. Sabonis with the rebound to Kenny Anderson. The Blazers look like they don't have the legs.
Yeah, they're a little tired. I mean, again, New Jersey really forced them to play some hard minutes, took them all the way to the end, had a lot of their starters in, and it's tough.
Yeah, Sabonis played 36 minutes last night, which is a lot again for him on the front end of a back-to-back. Shaquille O'Neal now against Rasheed Wallace. The turnaround looked good, didn't finish. Anderson, usually a lot of trouble when he gets in the open court there.
That's true.
One of his rare opportunities. Van Exel, though, answers so quickly, nobody's back.
No one is back. And you talked about Kenny Anderson getting to the paint like that. That's one of the few times he went in there untouched. First half, he was on his back a lot.
While he celebrated, Van Exel washed away his basket on the other end. Nick is 6 out of 9 for 14 points tonight.
Lakers do not give you a whole lot of time to celebrate, Bob.
Gary Trent, that's a 2. 14-point Laker lead, 8:13 to go, 3rd quarter. Lakers with a 33-11 record. That's second best in the Pacific.
That acceleration right past Trent.
After being injured, there was even a question publicly today whether or not Nick Van Exel would even start tonight because he's been out with that hip flexor. But He started, and he does look
Hey,
explosive.
broken hip, twisted knee, whatever you want to call it. Nick Van Exel is playing the best basketball of his career.
Yeah, this is his 5th year, and in some ways he's like an old man because of his injuries. Rick Fox hits the triple. Lakers' biggest lead of 19.
And they just make it look so easy, don't they?
8 assists for Nick.
Oh, my goodness.
Kenny Anderson again penetrating.
Shaq a little late.
Inside posted,
Hey, that's a foul
very
or
deep.
2 points.
Followed by Corey Blunt. Now when he gets the ball there, Shaquille, you said it. It's 2 or a foul or a dish.
Exactly. Or if it's missed, as your power forward, you got to come down just like Corey Blunt did.
There's that hook shot from Arvydas Sabonis.
A sweeping hook right over, I mean, barely over the fingertips of Shaq.
I think one of the reasons that's so hard to block, among others, is wingspan. He shoots it from so far away as opposed to so high.
Oh, and he just sets you up. I mean, his rotation and quickness as far as getting his hip into the player and then turning his shoulders is so quick.
That's going to be a foul on Rasheed Wallace as Eddie Jones got the ball posted down low. Isn't it interesting? You and I talking about hook shot technique. It's almost a lost art.
It is. Oh, it's just like free throw shooting. Oh, and look at this pass. Eddie Jones.
Welcome back to the Great Western Forum, where the Lakers are leading at 73-56, 6:33 to go in the third. Let's go to Scott Hastings.
Thanks, Bob. Standing behind the Los Angeles Lakers bench. I'm running into people over here. Sorry about that. Del Harris telling his team, hey, they got 3 baskets all the first half on pick and rolls. This half, they've got 3 already. They're up 17. The Lakers are doing something pretty good defensively. As far as Portland, they say, let's get something going. The next few minutes, let's go into the fourth quarter with a single digit, with the Lakers only having a single digit lead. Get this game back under control. Bob?
All right, thank you, Scott. Eddie Jones will step to the free throw line. I was just looking, Cheryl, while he shoots his free throws here. Eddie Jones now with 18. That's 49 points combined for the 3 guards for Los Angeles. 18 for EJ, 16 for Nick, and 15 for Kobe. Whereas Ryder with 10, Anderson 11, Williams with none, only 21. So
really
the backcourts.
Backcourt has just been huge. And you talk about the super sub, Kobe Bryant just takes this Lakers team to a different level once he comes on the floor.
Inside to Rasheed Wallace.
That's the most strongest and aggressive move that Rasheed Wallace has made tonight.
10 points for Rasheed. Shaquille, that's where they want him to have the ball out there. He'll have to get rid of it to Eddie Jones.
That's where Portland does not want Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones now with 21 points in this game. And 3 triples. There's what I was just talking about a moment ago.
52 points to Portland's 21.
Gary Trent gets the lay-in. Well, look at that pass.
Oh, my goodness.
More importantly than the pass, how about being in front of the whole pack, Shaquille O'Neal?
Hey, you talk about the versatility of the big man.
Anderson working on Nick Van Exel, trying to free Rasheed Wallace. Freeing him about 15 feet from the basket, working on Mario Bennett. And the foul. That's 4 on Mario Bennett.
Foul number 23, Mario Bennett. 4th personal, first team foul.
19-point Laker lead with 5:14 to go in the third period from the Great Western Forum. After this, teams will break for the All-Star, except for 4 of these Lakers who will be headed to the All-Star game. Sabonis fall away.
Boy, that's tough shooting off that leg.
Here comes Nick. Look out.
Oh, man. Rick Fox couldn't handle that pass.
Ryder gets the jam on the other end. Nick Van Exel was going so fast that I knew somebody was going to get hurt, whoever it was, the receiver.
That's true. He had a head of steam on him.
Look out, look out, look out. Lakers by 17 now. Lakers led by 14 at the break.
Big lead.
What a
Backdoor.
pass. Oh, what a pass.
The Princeton Lakers.
The Princeton Lakers.
81-62, 19-point LA lead. At this point, folks, it is a laugher. Rasheed Wallace working on Bennett. Trent reverses it to Isaiah Ryder. Good ball movement there.
Yeah,
and it results in the three.
One of the few uncontested perimeter shots knocked down by Isaiah Ryder.
Ryder has 7 in this period, 15 in the game now. We're going to need to get some points from those guards to get back in it. Shaquille operating in the open court, missing his jump hook. Rick Fox quickly back up with it. Wallace out to Anderson. Up and under, and a block from Mario Bennett.
Great weak side help by Bennett. Look at Van Exel. Oh, baby.
And then the full-length pass down to Sabonis, who is fouled and will shoot 2.
My goodness. Talk about the quickness of Nick Van Exel, coast to coast. Look at him split the defense. A little shake right there. Split the defense. And it threw up with the lefty off the glass. Boy, that looked like you, Bob.
Kid can play.
Kid can play. And Mario Bennett with the weak side help. Then you go off the block. Nick Van Exel through the legs. Oh, that's just a pretty move.
Now that's getting you swerving.
That's getting you swerving.
I'm starting to get it. Yes. Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher check into the ballgame now. Nick Van Exel and Rick Fox will get a rest. Nick has 18 points, 8 of 11 from the floor, and 9 assists. So he'll go with chest held, thrust forward to the All-Star meeting in New York at Madison Square Garden. Rightfully so. It's a question whether he'd make the All-Star team, because you saw that Kobe Bryant was leading in the vote getting, and Eddie Jones virtually had to go, and you thought 3 guards from the Lakers, and lo and behold.
And Nick Van Exel has been doing it. I mean, before that stretch, he had killed a number of teams with a 3-point shot. I mean, he is the dagger maker. He loves taking those critical, tough shots late in the game.
Remember the late game shots by Kobe Bryant in the playoff last year? That didn't bother him at all. Eldon Campbell tried to score inside, and he draws the foul. Some people, and I know you would consider yourself there, your brother Reggie, and we could name others. You just have to believe that even if you miss the clutch shot, you still got to want them.
You got to
take them.
And the interesting thing is, Kobe next season came back and wanted it. I mean, he wanted to be in that situation again to prove that he can do it. And that's just the growth of a 19-year-old. And it says a lot about his presence. It says a lot about his passion. This guy is wise beyond his basketball years.
19 years old, Laura Marion, Pennsylvania High School.
And Bob, you know what I like most about him? He's not afraid to ask questions. He doesn't care who the player is. He'll go up and try to pick their mind.
Hey, listen, he talks and asks questions about the game of Michael Jordan when they play each other.
Exactly.
It may be one of the more interesting ways to try to distract Michael.
Hey, school is always in when Kobe's on the court.
That was a good defensive play made by Isaiah Ryder, but he knocked it out of bounds, and it'll be Laker ball. Portland gets a timeout. Lakers by 18 with 2:54 to go in the third period. Welcome back to the Great Western Forum. 2:52 to go in the third period. Tomorrow night on TBS, storm is brewing as the NWO and the WCW collide. Thunder begins live tomorrow night, every Thursday night, beginning at 8:05 Eastern, only on the Superstation. Thunder. Thunder's raining down here. When we arrived yesterday, it was pouring sheets of rain as you look at the Lakers scoring. And no question, it's cleared today. I understand it's coming back. El Nino is messing with everybody.
And right now the Lakers are messing with Portland. And Portland actually in the third quarter came out 11 of 18, 61%. But so what? The Lakers are 11 for 16, shooting 69%.
One of these Lakers are going to have to be called El Nino. I think Kobe Bryant would be good El Nino. It's the child. He's 19.
You see Nick Van Exel out of the game right now, laying on the sidelines, icing the knees.
Well, in this period, you see both the teams are scoring, but the Lakers are happy to let it go that way as Mario Bennett follows.
Trade baskets.
Back to a 20-point gap with 2:34 to go in the third period. Lakers led by 14 at the break. Derek Fisher defending Kenny Anderson. Not really a good entry pass.
No, not really. And then Ryder had a good argument for being hacked on that play as well.
Kobe Bryant.
Oh, that's just they waved it off?
No, they counted it and called a foul on Portland, but it certainly looked like Kobe
Yeah, I thought he might have
waved off the
waved
defender.
off Cato on that.
Yeah, that's the first entry into the game of Kelvin Cato.
And this just is a nice athletic move by Kobe Bryant. He's going to go in the middle, absorb the paint down. No, that's a good play. That's a good play.
Call. Good
Now,
no
yeah,
call.
Good no call.
Kelvin Cato, we broadcast on TBS a couple of months ago the Utah at Portland game. Kelvin Cato came into the game, played about 20 minutes and blocked 8 shots.
Wow.
He was a wild man. He wears number 11. He is still a man-child himself, a rookie from Iowa State at 6'11", 255.
Kobe got up on that one.
Often after Derek Fisher fell down. Cato 31, I said 11 for some unbeknownst reason to me.
6'11", 11.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Kelvin Cato, Iowa State. He was their number 1 draft choice. Bennett with 2 back-to-back follows. Mario Bennett earning himself some playing time. He had been in only 14 games prior to tonight, all season long, out of 44, and only played 4 minutes in those.
And making the most of your minutes. You can't stress enough. When you get that opportunity to play and you want to continue to play, you got to make the most of it.
Rasheed Wallace missing. Fisher with the rebound.
Look at Mario Bennett just running the floor.
Eddie Jones finding a place. Campbell.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Yep. Elvin
Campbell
should have
gone,
shot
right?
that. He should have shot
That's
that.
what Eddie Jones is telling him right now as they walk up the floor there on the left side.
Now watch Mario Bennett right there. He's going to get great position on the boards. Kobe Bryant's going to go up. No one puts a body on Bennett, and Bennett just follows it up.
So right now, we have only two 19-year-olds in the NBA. The youngest player to ever play in the NBA is Jermaine O'Neal, beating Kobe Bryant from being the youngest by just days.
Yeah.
And there is Jermaine, although Jermaine's beginning in the league has not been as auspicious. He's struggling.
It has been a little bit rough. He's had a few injuries with his back and some other a strained calf, and really hasn't got the minutes to really produce. And that's what Mike Dunleavy really wants to do now, is try to develop him and see what they have. And as you pointed out, Bob, with that rookie free agency, you got 3 years to try to develop your rookie. Otherwise, he could be going somewhere else.
And you don't know whether you got anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Portland with the putback for Jermaine O'Neal. Jermaine played his high school basketball in Columbia, South Carolina at Eau Claire High School. He's still pretty slim, too.
He's very slim, but a lot of that
226.
was in a very serious car accident.
Yeah.
Could have been season career ending, so we're happy, glad he's back, but certainly a young man that has the potential, needs to put some weight on that really slight frame.
A stranger rescued him from the auto accident that he was involved in, and he said it was like an angel. He could have had he not been pulled out of that wreck, no telling what would have happened to him. But as it is, Jermaine O'Neal continues his career in the NBA. Isaiah Ryder missing with his own rebound. Back again. Look at Kobe Bryant's sky off of Bryant, Portland ball. 19 seconds to go in the period. You're talking about that Jermaine O'Neal. His car was forced off the road early Thanksgiving morning when he was coming home after a game from the airport. And the other driver who forced him off was arrested and charged. And somebody, they still don't know who, pulled Jermaine out of that car. And as he said, he only thanks him and calls him it was his angel.
My goodness. And that's a young man that certainly has a huge upswing. 6'11" forward. Mike Dunleavy says that he's not quite sure where to play him. He said that he is a natural 3, needs to work on his perimeter shot and his ball handling, but right now O'Neal feels much more comfortable at the power forward spot.
Kenny Anderson puts down the 3. That wasn't a very good looking shot for Kenny. He didn't look set, but it went in anyway. And
nice.
At the buzzer, Mario Bennett, who had himself a whale of the third quarter. And look at the happiness on that Lakers bench. You know, you don't mind being a rookie on a team this deep, or rookie or a bench player on a team this deep.
Not at all. And you see Kobe Bryant going up for the shot, and then Mario Bennett before the buzzer goes out. Should it have counted? They did.
No, I think maybe not, but they counted it anyway.
Yeah, that was close.
Now, they did count it, but I'm thinking maybe they shouldn't have.
official.
We'll be right back.
Vince Cellini back at the TBS studios. We have a final from Seattle. Somehow in this game, Indiana not accounting for Vin Baker, at least not right here. Gary Payton finds him. And Vin with a huge night. 41 points to tie his career high, 11 rebounds, and 6 blocks. And the best in the Western Conference record-wise, beating the best in the East, 104-97. Cheryl, don't shoot me. I'm just the highlight guy.
You know what happens to the bearer of bad news there, Vince?
How about Vin Baker? 41 points.
Wow.
Talk about a trade paying off.
Huge payoff.
Lob Bennett couldn't get it to go. May as well keep going to him the way he's been playing in the third period.
And the pass was a little low.
Brunson is in, and Rick Brunson is going to get an opportunity for playing minutes too, as Mike Dunleavy's trying to find anything to work, as he has Alvin Williams on the floor, Jermaine O'Neal, Rick Brunson, Stacey Augmon, and Kelvin Cato.
Well, Brunson played with with Eddie Jones at Temple.
And how about that? Not one starter on the floor for the Portland Trailblazers. Is that a statement, maybe?
Huge.
11:21 to go. Opening moments. Fourth quarter from the Forum. 18-point Lakers lead. Kelvin Cato. Nothing but net. Unfortunately, it was on the outside of the rim.
They rely on his defense.
Did you see that pass from Kobe Bryant to Rick Fox? Fox missed the shot, but Bryant rifled that through traffic. Ahead to Augmon from Rick Brunson. Who knows? Maybe this group can get them back in here. It's a 16-point lead. Lakers had led by as many as 21.
Well, certainly the time to do it, and Dunleavy's really trying to rally his troops on the floor, get them to really continue to pick up their aggressiveness, extending their defense full, trying to make some things happen.
Brunson picked up that personal foul. They have to mop off the perspiration on the floor here. If it's somewhere like Chicago, it's sweat, but it's in LA, it's perspiration.
Of course.
Of course, you'd know that. Being an LA lady. Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher in the backcourt for the Lakers. Mario Bennett, Rick Fox, and Shaquille up front. And that was Mario to Kobe Bryant, back to Mario.
Yeah, you know, and give a lot of credit right now to Portland with 3 rookies on the floor. Have done the one thing that Portland has struggled against, and that's trying to get some defensive stops against this Laker team.
Bennett and Derek Fisher will sit down, and Van Exel is back on the floor along with Eddie Jones. This is a terrific lineup the Lakers have out there right now. Lightning quick, a lot of firepower, and good defenders. Stacey Augmon penetrating. Somebody got a piece of that shot. Brunson, shot clock still running down, though. O'Neal missed. Augmon followed.
Hey, Stacey will hang around the basket and see if anything comes up near it, he'll go up and grab it.
Well, now the lead is back to 14. That's what the Lakers led by at the end of the first half. So Portland making their early fourth quarter run here. Del Harris senses it after a 6-0 scoring binge by Portland. Timeout, Del Harris. 94-80, Los Angeles. Now it's time to take a look at tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. Well, the Lakers have been doing it first in the first half from the backcourt.
Yes.
We take a look at the paint statistics. We'll see. We had to wait for the red to come
center
down.
matchup. Sabonis with 17, O'Neal 15. Blazers 13 points, fast break points, and that's something that Mike Dunleavy was concerned about, was transition defense.
Let's go to Scott Hastings.
Well, right now, Portland in a half-court defense, but watch whenever L.A. has to take the ball out of bounds. They're going to continue to run this full-court press. Kelvin Cato is the key to this. They like this guy in the backcourt. Already leads the team only 14 minutes a game averaging with 64 blocks. This guy, they count on him sending the shots back and getting Portland back in this game. Bob?
Thank you, Scott. Good point on that. As Shaquille goes to the line, that's Cato's second foul. Shaq now 1 out of 6 tonight. The Lakers, one of the reasons Portland was able to get back in there is the Lakers turned it over 3 times in their first 4 possessions this period. Concentrate, Shaq. Concentrate. Rebound, Cato. Concentrate, is that a good thing to say?
Yeah, concentrate. Relax.
Breathe deeply. See the ball.
See the ball.
Be
the ball.
The ball. Eddie Jones leaping our very expensive TBS cameraman. Thank you very much. Let's see if do we have a shot of this? Oh, this will be good. Watch this
Boy,
one.
this could be a disaster, but no.
Whoa! Put that on the highlight reel. Stacey Augmon inside. Shaquille kept it alive, then took the rebound. Van Exel bounce to Fox, who missed the layup. That was one of your better diagonal fast break passes that I've seen since the days of Magic Johnson.
That's true. That's true.
That was a great pass.
Very, very good analogy.
Jermaine O'Neal is fouled by Shaquille.
Wow.
That's
Tell
second.
you, Rick Fox wants that shot back. Boy, look at the quick outside outlet pass, and look at Nick Van Exel on a dime.
Did you see the ball spin back toward Rick Fox?
Sure did.
It
Cut
had
off.
right to left English on it. Wow, I'm amazed, but that's one of the things that really impresses me about NBA players. We don't get to see enough of.
I agree.
Is that kind of play.
I agree. Well, everything is above the rim.
Nick says, well, not me. Nick Van Exel is a stretch at 6'1". Here's Jermaine O'Neal. You see his numbers for the season. .94-80. Lakers continue to lead by 14 with 9:14 to go. Mike Dunleavy staying with this small, young hustle unit that he started the fourth period with. Lakers 10 on the shot clock. 7, Kobe Bryant. Lost it, got it back, and it hit the bucket. Come on!
Wow, how did he get that shot up? I mean, Kelvin Cato was in his jersey.
Inside to Cato, who gets fouled. Looked like by Rick Fox before the O'Neal. But what you tell me how he got this
That's just
to fall.
sensational, starting with the crossover that almost got picked by Augmon, and now he just launches up, holds, hangs, waits for the defenders to go down, and just keeps concentrating on the shot.
Now, you're not going to hear me ask to see that replay again, but I sure wish we could see that again.
That was just phenomenal.
One thing is he lost the ball between his legs from front to back and then recaptured it. Watch right here.
Bob asking you over
Back
receive
there.
right there. He goes up. He doesn't have a lot of time to get some spring off the floor, but boy, great concentration on this young man.
First Laker points in the fourth period, 20 points for Kobe. I'm a starter on the All-Star team, even though Dell won't let me. Bryant.
Hey, but it works for the Lakers. It works for the Lakers, and as you said, this season.
That ball went out of bounds, but since it was not touched by anybody, Portland will take possession all the way down here at the other end of the floor. .8:46 to go in the ball game. Lakers by 14. Brunson. His foul will go to the line. Talk about the six-man. You said at the beginning of the ball game that you think, certainly at this point I agree with you, Kobe Bryant leading candidate. Del Harris has been kind of a six-man proponent through his coaching career.
Well, what you have to do if you're Del Harris is find ways to keep this team happy. And, I mean, having a guy as talented and as young as a Kobe Bryant, when you have all of Los Angeles and probably all the United States saying this kid should be in your starting rotation, I mean, what great logic on Del Harris's part to sell the six-man.
And he has a history. He can say, hey, when I was at Milwaukee, Ricky Pierce, six-man of the year, great player, six-man. When I was at Houston, Calvin Murphy was my six-man. That can help sell a youngster like Kobe Bryant.
Plus, the record. This team is winning with him coming off the bench, and he's certainly getting the minutes that he deserves.
Inside to Shaquille, back to Fox. And Fox is fouled by Jermaine O'Neal.
You know, Bob, I've always been a big fan of players that have the mentality of, like, you know what, it doesn't matter who starts, it's who finishes. And as a player, that's what I want. It didn't matter if I started, but I wanted to be there in crunch time when the game ended, to be on the floor when it really counted.
Rick Fox will step to the free throw line.
Not that I had to worry about coming up to the
You got to play at the beginning and whenever you wanted to play. Speaking of All-Stars like Cheryl Miller, All-Star Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. You're on that show with Ernie Johnson and Reggie Theus and Doc and Yubi, I guess.
Yes.
A whole plethora
I'm looking
of
forward to Saturday with
performers.
you.
Oh, yeah. We're going to cover the 2-ball. That'll be fun to see. I've already got my pick. Saturday, 7 Eastern Time, so that starts. Then our next telecast on TNT will be Seattle and Houston telecast of regular game action at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Stacey Augmon missing, leaking out. Van Exel. Easy layup. And the Lakers have scored 100 points with 8 minutes to go in the game. Mike Dunleavy may have gotten all he can get out of this game.
Yeah, he certainly has. And all you can expect as a coach in this situation is continue to get your players to play hard and still work on other aspects of your game. You never stop coaching. You never stop playing.
As you see. There are the starters sitting on the bench. They got their warm-ups on, sweatshirts, their towels, their mini TVs, their cellular phones.
Hopefully not on the bench during the game.
Their pagers, yeah, not on the bench during the game. Jermaine O'Neal inside but couldn't finish. Van Exel. Just having their way now are the Lakers. Eddie Jones gets O'Neal airborne. The other O'Neal grabs the rebound. But that's the first time Shaq's been called the other O'Neal. He has 17. 102-83. Jermaine, nice pass into Kelvin Cato. Thunderous dunk, but only counts 2. Cheryl, how long does Del Harris leave this entire starting unit he has on the floor here with 6:59
well,
to go in the game?
I'd start looking at the 5-minute mark to really start bringing in some other players and giving my starters a blow. Let them start icing down, get them out the game before, hopefully, quote-unquote, knock on some wood, then anybody receive a cheap injury.
George Karl's making a phone call right now down to Del saying, hey, I got to have these guys in the All-Star game. Del would love that, wouldn't he? Since we beat you that Saturday and I'm the coach instead of you.
Just a game away from coaching the Lakers in the All-Star.
And it happened, 2 Saturdays ago at Seattle. They lost. 102-87 L.A. 6:29 remaining in this game. The Lakers, in the second half of the season, Del Harris says he wants them to focus on playing better team defense, moving the ball better, and also getting more mentally tough and preparing better. And that's all to do with having such a very young basketball
Oh, it certainly
team.
does, but you can work on your mental toughness, Bob, in every game. That means what Del Harris is trying to say is the games against Boston, Philadelphia, Charlotte, teams that we know when we're at home we have to take care of and make sure we bring our A game just like we would against the Chicago.
Well, they have the A game here tonight. The Laker fans now just calling for blood. Eddie missed that one, but he's hit 4 threes tonight, has 26 points. Augman's finger roll misses. Jermaine O'Neal with a rebound and the throwdown. 105-89, 5:31 to go. It's been Lakers all the way. Lakers led by 7 after 1, 16 after 2, 20 after 3. Knicks got a 20-10 game.
It started out the first half. It was all the Lakers guards that put on the show. Kobe Bryant, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones.
Well, at least they lived up to our hype. We talked about the 3 All-Star guards at the beginning, and they have performed thusly. And Mike Dunleavy's Blazers are down 107-89. Timeout on the floor from the Great Western Forum. Cheryl, as we went away, we talked about the Laker backcourt and what a great game they've had tonight. Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel.
Kobe Bryant certainly, but this tough shot was just so acrobatic. Still trying to figure out how he got that shot up. But certainly the Laker guards have been sensational in tonight's game. Jones, Van Exel, Bryant combined for 66 points. And then Ryder, Anderson, Brunson, Jermaine O'Neal, they've struggled. 36 points.
Yeah, Alvin Williams, the one we talked about earlier, the usual third guard, hasn't scored at all tonight. And it's 15 for Ryder and 14 for Anderson. So that's that 3-guard number is only 29 if you were to match them up apples to apples, so to speak. 5:09 to go, 107-89. Lakers by 18 points. Lob into Kelvin Cato from Stacey Augmon. back to 16.
Well, he can't get up in a hurry, can he?
Yeah, this is a sign of some young talent here and some very valuable playing time for Jermaine O'Neal and Kelvin Cato. I'll say that. Jermaine O'Neal with that rebound. Here's Alvin Williams. Nice pass inside, but is Augmon in too deep? Yes, but he draws the foul.
Hey, that was a tough shot. He almost pulled it out, too.
It looks like Mike Dunleavy is going with this entire backup unit this entire period. There's
Well,
4:42
it really has to. I mean, last night they had a tough game in which they had to play some extended minutes against New Jersey. The starters obviously came in a little sluggish, didn't have a lot of rhythm. So you go with your bench. You go with the team that is giving you the effort and the energy.
Stacey Augmon misses from the free throw line. He's not a very good free throw shooter in his career, only shooting 56% this year. It's 1 out of 2. And it's a 15-point Lakers lead. And the turnover. Brunson gets the 3, and that cuts it to 12. All right, get your warm-ups off over there. We may see some other players back out here. 107-95 Lakers.
Boy, Portland get a stop here.
Oh, they had a great opportunity. Kobe Bryant didn't see it to get it into Shaquille. Now they get it back into it, working against the double team and the foul. Scott Hastings, what do you have for us?
Bob, two things. Last time these two teams met, Portland won. Of course, LA didn't have Shaquille, but the thing was the defense. Portland held LA to only 41% shooting, and they only scored 99 points. Obviously, now with 4 minutes left, they've got 107. And second of all, Shaquille getting on people during the timeout. They weren't paying attention, and it's kind of showing out here by LA.
Yeah, that's a reflection of his leadership. He said something the other night. He said, our team has to get tough when we've got leads and find the killer instinct. That's what he's talking about. That's a 3-second violation, and that turnover will go to the Portland Trail Blazers, and they can cut this lead to 10 with plenty of time, 4 minutes, and that's the 7th LA turnover in the period.
And Bob, you talked about, Dale Harris has been preaching mental toughness and certainly paying attention during huddles and making sure game preparation is and consistency is something that Dale Harris has been trying to drive in his players' heads.
Rick Brunson drives and cuts it to 10, 107-97.
And plenty of time here.
Aren't you glad, if you're on the East Coast, aren't you glad you stayed up with us? Kobe Bryant. That's going to be a blocking foul. I thought we might have an offensive foul on his pass off that, but no.
Had Stacey Augmon not come over, they were already set to take that charge.
I think so, and they were outside that dotted area.
Sure were.
Kobe Bryant can stop an 8-0 Portland run here with the free throws, where he's perfect tonight. Kobe, who was, in fact, named after the steak. That's true. His folks, his mom and dad came up with a name. They were in a Kobe steakhouse, and that's, I'm not kidding. I wouldn't kid about something like that.
Really?
That's a fact.
Named after a piece of meat.
That's not how they looked at it. I think they were talking about a rare choice.
There you go. Okay.
but it
Looking at his plate of ribs and said, Kobe. Come on, Kobe.
You're taking us down the drain here. We're going fast. Brunson in traffic is fouled. Rick Brunson has been impressive off the bench tonight. As you said, he's a former teammate of Eddie Jones at Temple. Gets very little playing time on this team.
When you talk about the inconsistency of the Lakers at home, they've had huge wins over the top teams, Chicago, Miami, Utah, and San Antonio, but it's the losses to Cleveland, Boston, Philadelphia, teams that they should beat at home. They have not come with that energy and effort that Dale Harris was talking about, that mental toughness and being prepared with each and every game.
Brunson knocks them both down. It's once again a 10-point game with 3:17. Brunson has 10 points in this fourth quarter. Eddie Jones, by the way, picked up his 5th foul on that play. Look out, Kobe. Shaquille. Now that moves the backboard. That backboard is leaning to the left, Cheryl. Doesn't it? Look at it.
That looks like the backboard is leaning, Bob. I mean, he went up there with some authority on that one.
Well, that proves that the breakaway rim does work.
Hey, but you got to give a lot of credit to Portland. They were down a lot, came back. Mike Dunleavy put in the second unit, and they have battled and scraped and have not given up in this game. They continue to play hard.
Portland was down 23 points in the third period. Derek Fisher in off the bench. And we've got a Portland foul with 2:28 to go in the ball game.
Boy, we've all talked about Eddie Jones and Kobe Bryant's acceleration to the basket, but look how high Shaq is right underneath the NBA emblem.
Everybody likes that in the old marketing department. That's the fourth foul on Kelvin Cato. Shaquille, however, we love to be able to say, but he's human. 1 for 8. That's the mark.
But I think the more people make a big production out of his lack of production at the free throw line, the more pressure it is. Yeah. It becomes a mental thing after all. Oh, my goodness.
Alvin Williams. Williams was scoreless until he got a little short jumper a minute ago, then came back with that, and now we've got ourselves a 111-103 8-point game with 2:08 to go. A near steal by Brunson. Bryant is hit hard. Is he okay? Kelvin Cato also got hit right in the head on that. Kobe Bryant's all right, but he certainly took a very hard foul. He's eye to eye with the other 19-year-old. But it was
boy, and Shaq
Cato and
Shaq is talking to Cato right now. I'll tell you, that's the only thing that worries me about Kobe Bryant is he extends and exposes his body. That man, every time he goes up, I'm sure his parents hold their breath because the kid gets up in traffic, and that sometimes can be very, very dangerous.
So does his agent. That's cold. This may be a flagrant foul coming up here. Hugh Hollins over at the scorer's table opposite from us. And it may be a flagrant one. You have 2 levels of flagrant fouls. We have a 20-second timeout. We'll check on it. We'll get a official word.
Well, let's take a look at that again, Bob. I mean, a near steal by Brunson, and Kobe just elevates. There's no way, I don't know if that was real flagrant. They were going for the ball. It just looked worse than it did.
See, Augmon bumped him in the hip.
Yeah.
I think it was Stacy who really gave him the punch that moved him out.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm not so sure how hard that was, but they are saying it was a flagrant 1 foul.
Anytime you sweep somebody's legs from underneath them, you could really cause a lot of damage. I don't think Stacey Augmon did it on purpose, but when you expose a player like that, you need to make sure it's a stiffer penalty.
Look at Kobe Bryant, 22 points, 26 minutes, 4 rebounds tonight, but he's in there to score, folks. You don't really necessarily look at his rebounds and assists later in his career.
And his defense is getting better.
That looks to be okay. He may have some bruises when he wakes up in the morning. I guess he gets tired of people saying, you can't be hurt, you're 19.
You know what? He's not, exactly. I was just about to say that. Couple Tylenol, he'll be fine.
Yeah, when you were 19, you got bruises too.
A few.
Yeah,
just a few.
It can still hurt at 19.
And all you had to do was have a chocolate milk, and that was it.
That's probably Kobe's diet regimen. 9 of 9 from the line. 10 of 10, 23 points.
Just phenomenal night. Phenomenal night by the youngster.
You see, he's 77% on the season. He's really solid in about every phase of the game, Cheryl. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If there's any aspect that, in all his game, you're always continuing striving to be the very best, but the only aspect right now that he really needs to concentrate on is the defensive end, and that's going to come with time and experience.
That was broken up by Kobe Bryant.
And when to choose his battles, when to score, when to accelerate, and sometimes not always try to be the highlight reel. Make the simple pass, make the simple shot.
Of course, that's what they used to tell Dominique Wilkins.
This is very true.
He finished his career being the highlight. 6 to shoot. Kobe Bryant's going to pull up, blocked by the other 19-year-old, and Jermaine O'Neal had a little grin on his face. Brunson is fouled with 1:24 to go, and a 10-point game. Is Brunson okay?
Well, he was put on his back too.
Isaiah Ryder's coming back into the game. Augmon's going to the bench.
But Kobe Bryant's going to make sure that he goes up, and then there's the push-off.
Yeah, from Kobe.
Yeah.
And that could have been a flagrant
Yeah,
also.
sure could've.
Wasn't called. But we got the benefit of the replay. Timeout, Portland. 113 to 103 Lakers. They led by as many as 23 points in the third period. We have 1:24 to go, and that's a 20-second timeout for Mike Dunleavy. After the All-Star break, Portland will host L.A. up in Portland on the 10th of February, then play at Phoenix on the 12th. The Lakers' next games, obviously, are in Portland on the 10th, and then Golden State comes in here. So that's what they'll be looking at after the All-Star break, and everybody glad to get the few days. You're either happy, Cheryl, as a player, if you're going to go participate in the All-Star weekend, or to get the few days off.
Well, if you're Larry Bird, you were hoping to go fishing, but that's not going to happen. So he has to coach the Eastern All-Stars.
This Los Angeles Laker team of Campbell, Fox, O'Neal, Jones, Van Exel, Bryant, etc. Look at the comparison. This was a great team here in 71-72. And look at the lower left, what they scored that
121. 56 rebounds. Not bad.
year. You talked to Jerry West today.
Yeah, Jerry had a lot of information about, some possible trades around the league. But, you talk about someone that has assembled this team to be competitive year after year after year. Give a lot of credit to Jerry West.
Yeah, Jerry always has trade rumors for everybody except his team.
Exactly. Everybody, no one's going anywhere.
That 71-72 team, remember they won 33 in a row, Chuck Gardner reminds me. I don't know. I think this team is more talented, but that team in 71-72 was certainly more experienced.
Yes.
So I tend to think that team with Goodrich and West and Chamberlain in his declining years, but still
Chamberlain.
A force. Coming up right after this game, 1:20 of basketball away, Inside the NBA with Vince Cellini and Reggie Theus. And Craig Sager will bring us up to date on the latest on the Latrell Sprewell hearings from New York. A lot of news breaking there, and Craig had it at halftime. If you missed it, we'll have it there. Also an update on Bulls head coach Phil Jackson not returning next season, plus highlights and scores.
No surprise.
No surprise.
I'll tell you what is a surprise. There's still people here at the Forum.
Well, they like to watch their team beat somebody. Alvin Williams missing. Shaquille O'Neal got the rebound all the way down at the other end. Van Exel, and nobody saw it. Poor Nick. Van Exel got the ball finally, even though they missed him on the pass, penetrates and draws the foul. Looked like from Kelvin Cato.
And Nick had to smile at Cato because he thought it was a good block. Official saw it differently.
Fifth foul for Kelvin Cato. And Nick Van Exel to the line, coming off that hip flexor. Looked to be in pretty darn good shape tonight. 20 points, 11 assists. I think, and I know, remember, Nick Van Exel was a second-round draft choice. 37th pick overall in the draft in '93.
Again, Jerry West has done an excellent job. I'll tell you, he has such a keen and great eye for talent.
I remember Jerry talking about Nick before the draft that year, saying, if he's there, this is a kid we like.
Exactly.
And there, he had some problems off the court at Cincinnati. A lot of people didn't know if they could work it out with him, and he's really matured and grown here.
Certainly has.
Now, an all-star. 2 rebounds, 3 assists. 6-time all-star. 5th time as a starter.
Big men really didn't have to do a whole lot of work. The backcourt took care of everything.
And Sabonis, we talked about whether he would be strong in the back-to-back, which he has been this year, was not tonight.
He just really was a little flat, didn't have a lot of energy, and looked a little bit sluggish.
Kobe Bryant, Alvin Williams, a couple of rookies looking at each other. They got some words. I'd like to be in on that conversation.
They say, where's the love? Where's the love?
I feel love in this room, don't you?
It's like, Kobe, I'm trying to get where you are.
Just trying to get
where you're.
Well, I'm a second-round guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the first-round star.
First round, okay.
He's going to be, speaking of that, Alvin Williams going to be in the rookie all-star game along with Kelvin Cato. So he was probably saying, a couple all-stars I'll see in New York.
Mike Dunleavy just rants and raves about this young man, says that he plays with a lot of passion, has the desire to learn, will continue to get better. really in the offseason needs to put on another 10, 15 pounds so he can absorb some contact and really be much more physical at the either the 1 or the 2 spot.
Love to have heard that conversation. It may have had nothing to do with basketball. And the other 19-year-old, these kids, it's kiddie night. Jermaine O'Neal missing the jam, and he's fouled. I'm feeling older and older and older. And Jermaine O'Neal does have the youthful look.
Yes, he does.
With the goatee and the thicker hair of Kobe Bryant, Kobe could pass for much older, like 20.
Yeah, stretching it. He could pass about 21 or so.
Jermaine knocks the free throw down. Let's see, he's a mature-looking young man. Inside the NBA is coming your way 32.2 seconds from now. Vince Cellini, Reggie Theus.
Immature. Just kidding.
Vince
Vince and Reggie. Just get a little pop in there before I get off the air.
Just pop them good. I like it. I like it. Speaking of a couple of rookies.
A couple of rooks in studio tonight.
Way past their bedtime, too. It's 1 o'clock Eastern time. And Alvin Williams gets a foul on Nick Van Exel, stopping the clock with 19.3. So LA's record now is going to go to 34-11. They'll be a game and a half back of Seattle with their 36-10 record.
With a big win over Indiana tonight.
Yeah, very big. And how did your brother, do? Did you hear any numbers on that?
Doesn't matter. There's an L after that game. It's a loss.
You don't care.
It doesn't matter.
You're tough. You love him dearly, but you're hard.
I do.
That's the coach in you. Portland's record's going to go to 26-20. Portland right now will drop to 10 games off the pace. And I was just looking at this. If you look at Portland's record and were to put their record over in the Atlantic Division along with New York and New Jersey, Portland would be right in there in the hunt, a couple of games out of the league. But that's how good the Seattle, Lakers, and Phoenix teams are in the Pacific. And another foul with 11 seconds. This one on Isaiah Ryder.
It's all a learning process. Mike is trying to get the most out of these players right now, out of this situation. He's teaching. He is teaching.
Scott Hastings is sitting right here near us toward the end of the game. We were just talking a moment ago about how these are two teams with young players on them, top to bottom in the roster, that could develop quite a rivalry in the next few years.
Certainly could.
Nothing but net. Bud player of the game. Should we go to Kobe with it?
Might as well. Might as well. I think that's a great choice. 25 points.
We were going to take it away if that ball rattled out.
26 points.
Kobe Bryant, tonight's Budweiser player of the game. And Rick Brunson, who's given a lot off the bench tonight and earned himself probably some more playing minutes. How about this? The Lakers, I think we were talking about the 71-72 team that averaged 121 points a game. Tonight, the Lakers 122 points. Blazers 115. Blazers made a run in the fourth quarter when Mike Dunleavy went small and went to an entire substitute bench team, and they were able to cut it to 8 points, but never enough to really catch up to the Lakers as they